ഒരു
ഹലോ ഹലോ ഹലോ. ഞാനൊരു വെബിനാർ മീറ്റിംഗിലാണ്, തുടങ്ങാൻ പോണം. വിളിക്കാം. ഓക്കെ.
ഫോൺ വിളിക്കുന്നതാ സാർ വിളിച്ചേ.
Welcome.
Can you hear me, my voice?
Yeah, it's audible.
Thank you.
Can you hear me, sir?
Of course.
Okay, thank you.
We discuss in Malayalam or in English?
Pardon?
Are we going to discuss in Malayalam or in English?
We were also discussing that particular point because CB told me that some person, from outside Kerala are also attending. I don't know. CB, can you just make a comment on this regarding our medium? Our Tirumeni.
We can follow in Malayalam, sir. No problem.
Okay.
Those who are interested. Okay.
Okay. Our Tirumeni.
Fine.
Tirumeni. Welcome, Tirumeni. Okay. തിരുമേനി നമ്മുടെ കുറച്ച് കുട്ടികളോട് ആഡ് ചെയ്തുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കുകയാണ്. ഒരു ഏതാനും മിനിറ്റുകൾക്കുള്ളിൽ നമുക്ക് തുടങ്ങാം. തിരുമേനി കേൾക്കത്തില്ല.
Hello.
ഹലോ.
Okay, sir, start ചെയ്താലോ sir?
സ്റ്റാർട്ട് ചെയ്യാം. സിബി സാറേ, നമുക്ക് സ്റ്റാർട്ട് ചെയ്യാവുന്നതാണോ?
നമുക്ക് സ്റ്റാർട്ട് ചെയ്യാം സാറേ, സ്റ്റാർട്ട് ചെയ്യാം. എന്ത് കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ട് തിരുമേനിയുടെ ക്ലിയർ ആവുന്നില്ല, തിരുമേനിയുടെ വോയിസ് ക്ലിയർ ആവുന്നില്ല.
തിരുമേനി മ്യൂട്ട് ആണോ എന്ന് എനിക്ക് സംശയമുണ്ട്. ജസ്റ്റിൻ തിരുമേനി ഒന്ന് വിളിച്ച്, ജസ്റ്റിൻ തിരുമേനി ഒന്ന് കോണ്ടാക്ട് ചെയ്തേ. സിബി സാറെ, വെളിയിൽ നിന്ന് ഇപ്പം റാഫേൽ സാറ് ചോദിച്ച മീഡിയത്തിന്റെ കാര്യം ചോദിച്ചു. നമുക്ക് ഏതിൽ വേണമെന്ന് ഒന്ന് തീരുമാനിക്കും. വെളിയിൽ നിന്ന് ആളുകളുണ്ടോ?
അല്ലേ നമുക്ക് മലയാളം തന്നെ ചെയ്യാം സാറേ, മലയാളം തന്നെ ചെയ്യാം.
സാറ് ചോദിച്ചപ്പം
മലയാളം തന്നെ നമുക്ക് മലയാളം തന്നെ ചെയ്യാം സാറേ, കുഴപ്പമില്ല.
English.
ഏത് മീഡിയം?
English. We have 4-5 students. English. Yeah.
Okay. No problem. We are so happy. We are so happy that some experts from outside Kerala are also participating. Most welcome.
Thank you.
Dr. Maya Mahajan, sir, I am CB.
തിരുമേനി സംസാരിക്കുന്ന കേൾക്കത്തില്ല. മ്യൂട്ടാണോ? തിരുമേനി സംസാരിക്കുന്ന കേൾക്കുന്നില്ലല്ലോ.
ചെവിയെ മാത്രം കണ്ടാൽ മതിയോ?
എന്താ സാറേ?
ചെവിയെ മാത്രം കണ്ടാൽ മതിയോ?
അല്ല, എല്ലാരും ഉണ്ട്.
തിരുമേനി കേൾക്കാമോ?
ഹലോ.
കേൾക്കാം തിരുമേനി. ഗിരീഷ് സാർ, നമുക്ക് തുടങ്ങാം. ഗിരീഷ് സാർ മൈക്ക് ഓഫ് ആണേ.
തിരുമേനിയുടെ സൗണ്ട് ക്ലിയർ അല്ലോ ആണെന്ന്.
ഓക്കെ.
A very good afternoon to one and all. With a great pleasure, I wholeheartedly welcome all the participants to this national webinar organized by Henry Becker College in association with Gram Vikas Let us start our program with a silent prayer. Okay, thank you. Most respected Bishop and College Manager, Right Reverend V.S. Francis Tirumeni, Chief Resource Person of the Day, Dr. S Shankar, expert and a non-activist and academician and researcher, Dr. Jose C. Rafael, respected teachers, researchers, friends, Sri C.B. Pureidam, an expert and man behind the screen of this particular program, and all other distinguished participants from different parts of the country to attend these deliberations organized by our college. Dear friends, at the very outset, I am extremely happy to welcome all of you towards this national webinar organized by Henry Becker College in association with the Gramavikas Society Melikavumattam. The topic of today's seminar is rainwater harvesting and watershed management. And this has been a topic which has been subjected to much debates and deliberations among academic circles, among academicians, administrators, bureaucrats, and also scientists quite for some time. Henry Becker College is extremely happy to join hands with the Gramavikas Society Melikavumattam in organizing a conference of this kind, that too on a topic which has become talk of the town, even to man in the street. Henry Becker College, established in 1981 in a rural and tribal area, Melikavu, in Kottayam district of Kerala, in 1981, with the avowed objective of providing higher education services to people in this locality. As we know, Henry Becker College, when we pass 40 years of its successful existence in the higher education sector, we are actually celebrating the Jubilee in 2020-21. Henry Becker College over the past 4 decades have been instrumental in organizing a large number of programs, curricular, co-curricular, and extracurricular activities for the wholesome development of our students. The college is situated in a rural and a tribal area, Melikavu, where most of the students are from, vulnerable sections of the community. So our college has been taking concerted and well-directed efforts to organize large number of programs, especially in the matter of environmental protection. This college is managed by CSA East Kerala Diocese, Melikavumattam, and our Honorable Bishop and manager of the college, Right Reverend V.S. Francis Tirumeni, used to remind us that CSI, Church of South India, has one avowed objective of environmental protection. Even though it's a church mission society, that particular society has an established mission of protecting environment. And environment protection has always been the top agenda of our church mission society. Our Tirumeni used to remind us, we the people are supposed to grow with the environment. Environment protection is one of the top agenda of our community. India has one of the first country in the world to establish separate legislation for environment. Environment Protection Act of 1986 was actually incorporated in our country. But when we go through our history, we can see less than 15% of the industries abide by this particular Environment Protection Act. Recent studies indicate that around 80% of all deaths from illness in developing world are caused by lack of access to safe drinking water. More than 5 million people die each year because of the water-related diseases. And we are having only 3% of the water at the global level, which can be considered as safe drinking water. An estimated 900 million to 1.5 billion people worldwide lack clean drinking water, and 2.4 billion lack basic sanitation facilities in our country. We are actually talking about very big things. We are actually talking about artificial intelligence and robotics. We are talking about flying vehicles. We are talking about cloning. We are talking about 5G or 6G. All these are important big things. But when we consider our existential issues, we can see protection of the manner of protection of environment, we people are not up to mark. In July 2010, United Nations General Assembly declared safe drinking water and sanitation as a human right, fundamental human right. And Environmental Protection Act of 1986 also gives or advances large number of measures for the purpose of preserving our natural resources and protecting our environmental greenery. Henry Becker College campus is a green campus. It is an eco-friendly campus. It is a plastic-free campus. And we are taking a large number of initiatives during the last couple of years to protect the environment. We are regularly commemorating World Environment Day. We are commemorating World Wildlife Day. We are commemorating this Ozone Day. And we are commemorating a number of days which is having some relevance from the point of view of the environment, protection of environment. So we have conducted a green audit, we have conducted water audit, energy audit, and biodiversity audit in our campus. We have conducted water audit, and we are providing safe drinking water to our students. We are having a herbal garden. We are having rainwater harvesting in our college. We are having water recharge facilities in our campus. We are having plantations, we are having vegetable cultivation, we are having Nashatravanam, and we are having so many, we have initiated other measures for the purpose of environmental protection. Our college is being awarded with the best eco-friendly campus from the international agency, that is National Records Forum. Therefore, all these clearly say that a higher education institution like Henry Becker College has a lot to do from the point of view of the protection of environment. Therefore, I not actually prolong my speech. Let me venture into my duty of welcoming all the distinguished persons, luminaries and visionaries who have come forward to attend this particular conference from the different parts of the country. I understand that there are some participants from outside Kerala also. There are some participants from at the international level also. We are so happy to welcome all of you to this platform to attend a conference on rainwater harvesting and watershed management. At the very outset, let me take this opportunity to welcome our beloved Bishop, our honorable manager of Henry Becker College, none other than Right Reverend V.S. Francis Tirumeni. With regard to, Tirumeni, when I say, Tirumeni is a great visionary, in fact, as he reminds us every time that CSA Church has environmental protection as a topmost agenda in their activities, and CSA has been taking a large number of initiatives for the purpose of protecting environment. And CSA East Kerala, Mahayadavaga, and also other church institutions, including church institutions and also education institutions that comes under the ambit of it, are certainly doing a large number of measures, taking measures for the purpose of protecting environment and preserving our natural resources. Tirumeni has been taking a lot of pains. He has been taking a lot of initiative in conducting similar programs in our college. On behalf of all the participants, in behalf of the Henry Becker College and also the Ramavika Society, and on behalf of all the participants who are assembled here, I take this opportunity to wholeheartedly welcome our bishop, our manager, our patron towards this particular program. Welcome, Tirumeni.
Thank you. Thank you.
Next, our chief resource person of the day is Dr. S Shankar. I understand that we are extremely happy to have some experts and luminaries from this particular field to lead today's webinar. None other than Dr. Shankar. In fact, I was going through his profile. Dr. Shankar has more than 3 decades of experience in Kerala Forest Research Institute. He is basically an academician. He's a consultant. He's an orator. Definitely, he's a writer. He's a researcher, and he is certainly a consultant to a large number of institutions. Dr. Shankar is definitely a known personality in the field of rainwater harvesting. Definitely a doctorate in soil science from French University in Moscow. He is a pioneer in watershed development and key resource person of EIA, development of biodiversity-based enterprises, community watershed development, conservation and green activism. He has made a significant contribution in capacity development of farmers and bamboo and reed-based artisans, and in organizing bamboo-based clusters of artisans. University Grants Commission says that a teacher is supposed to play 4 important roles: teaching, research, extension, and consultancy. As a teacher, he is delivering his knowledge. As a researcher, he is producing knowledge. As a extension, certainly he is applying his knowledge, and a consultant, he is delivering his knowledge. Therefore, all these 4 capacities, he is playing a crucial role in our society. I understand that Dr. Shankar is an expert, an adept who has done significant contributions in the field. Certainly, we are extremely happy to have such a person to lead today's seminar. Sir, on behalf of all the participants, I wholeheartedly welcome you towards this particular webinar. And next, we have another luminary from the field, none other than Dr. Josie Raphael, who is now acting as a director of Mazhappally Mathrissur. I was actually going through his profile. I was really amazed to see the significant contributions made by Dr. Raphael in diverse fields, in many fields, not only in the field of academics, in research, in consultancy, in organization, in planning. In all these aspects, he has been actually rendering yeoman service to our community. He is basically MSc Social Policy and Planning in developing countries from London School of Economics, University of London during the period of 1999-2000. He also holds a PhD in Development Studies from Mysore University. He has also a diploma in Development Planning from a Center for Development Studies and Activities, University of Pune, Maharashtra. He has also a MA in Economics from Calicut University, Kerala during the period of 1985-87. When we go through the contributions made by Sri Josie Raphael, I was really amazed to see there are a large number of accolades and awards achieved by him for providing his services in diverse fields. He is an expert, he is a resource person, he is a planner, he is a researcher, and an academician. In all these capacities, a writer, in all these fields, he has immensely contributed to this particular field. He has a UNESCO sponsored Water Digest Award he is received in 2010. Also, he got another award from Korea International Water Week 2018 for a World Water Challenge Prize Outstanding Achievement Award. And he was also finalist in United Nations Water Summit, leaving no one behind, conducted in Geneva during February 7 to 18, 2009. I am not actually going into each and every minor aspect of his biodata because it will take minimum 1 hour for reading all these things. Therefore, on behalf of all the participants, we are extremely happy to have such a resource person to lead, this today's seminar on water conservation and watershed management. I take this opportunity to welcome you, sir, with great respect and love. We are welcome towards this national webinar.
Thank you, also sir.
I welcome all the teachers, all the researchers, all the postgraduate students, all the undergraduate students, and all those participants from outside Kerala and also outside India. There are a large number of experts, researchers and also academicians and students who have come forward to attend this particular webinar. I understand that they are attending this because of the contemporary relevance of this topic that is being selected, watershed management and also rainwater harvesting. I expect that we should have a very good discussion on this particular topic. First of all, our Chief Resource Person, Dr. S Shankar, will make a presentation for 20 minutes. That is followed by a presentation by the next resource person, Raphael sir. And after having presented both these resource persons, the subject will be open for discussion. There will be a question and answer session. You can act, react, and also interact with the resource person. You can ask any question, any doubts that will be required. Therefore, I wish you a nice time. I once again take this opportunity to extend our gratitude to all the participants, and I am grateful to Ms. Sibi I was actually tell something about CB at last because he is the man behind the screen conducting this particular program. Mr. CB, I really met Mr. CB some 1 month back when he approached me with regard to some of the projects that can be implemented in our college. Since then, I understood that he is a very good activist who has been, taking a lot of pains for the purpose of preserving natural resources. Under his able leadership, Gramavikas Society has been rendering yeoman service to our community. The waste at Meligav in the field of natural resource management, he has been taking a lot of pains to organize a large number of programs and also doing or implementing so many projects in the care of Gramavikas Society. Therefore, I am not actually prolonging my speech. I wholeheartedly welcome Sri Sibi Puredam, the key man behind the key to conduct this program at our college towards this program. Thank you very much. Once again, I welcome all of you. Over to our respected Bishop and Tirumeni for a few words to inaugurate this particular webinar.
Thank you, sir. Namatine Mouthman Dagate, College in the Gramavikas Society at 7 Method Parivatano, Manavala, Sagano, and the Lucia webinar. With Aria Sandoshan meeting a program something Elavarkum KFRI Dr. S Shankar sir, Madapalima Director Dr. Jyothi Rafael sir, Principal Catherine Dr. ഈ പ്രോഗ്രാമിന്റെ പിന്നിൽ പ്രവർത്തിക്കുന്ന ഞങ്ങളുള്ള സ്ഥിതി മറ്റ് ടീച്ചേഴ്സ് ശ്രീ സാർ ശുദ്ധവായു, ശുദ്ധജലം, ഇവ കൂടാതെ ആരോഗ്യമുള്ള ഒരു ജനതയും ഉണ്ടാവുകയില്ല. മനുഷ്യന്റെ ഉപയോഗത്തിലൂടെ ശ്രദ്ധയില്ലാത്ത ഭാവി കൊള്ളാത്ത പ്രവർത്തനങ്ങളിലൂടെയും പറഞ്ഞു പോകാൻ എന്നാൽ ആശ്വാസകരമായ പ്രതീക്ഷ നൽകുന്ന കാര്യം നമ്മുടെ പ്രകൃതിയിൽ തന്നെ ദൈവം എല്ലാം ഒരുക്കി വെച്ചിരിക്കുന്നു എന്നുള്ളതാണ്. അത് വേണ്ട രീതിയിൽ കണ്ടുപിടിച്ചെടുക്കാൻ വേണ്ട കഴിവും ചിന്തയും ദൈവം മനുഷ്യർക്ക് നൽകിയിരിക്കുന്നു. കേരളത്തെ സംബന്ധിച്ച് മലയോര മേഖലയായ ഈ മേഖലകളിൽ വേനൽക്കാലത്ത് കുടിവെള്ള ക്ഷാമം വളരെ രൂക്ഷമാണ്. എന്നാൽ ഏതാണ്ട് 6 മാസത്തോളം ലഭിക്കുന്ന നമ്മെ സംബന്ധിച്ച് അല്പം ശ്രദ്ധിച്ചാൽ ഒരു പരിധിവരെ ഈ പ്രതിസന്ധി നമുക്ക് തരണം ചെയ്യാനായിട്ട് സാധിക്കും. അതിന് ഉത്തമ ഉദാഹരണമാണ് ഈ കോളേജ് കോമ്പൗണ്ടിൽ സ്ഥാപിച്ചിരിക്കുന്ന മഴവെള്ള സംഭരണിയും കിണർ റീചാർജ് സംവിധാനങ്ങളും. ഇന്ന് ഇവിടെ നടക്കുന്ന ഈ വെബിനാർ മൂലം ഇവിടെ നമ്മൾ കേൾക്കുന്ന ക്ലാസ്സുകളിലൂടെ നമ്മുടെ പ്രകൃതിയെ, ദൈവം നൽകുന്ന പ്രകൃതിയെ എത്രയും നല്ല രീതിയിൽ ചൂഷണം ചെയ്യുവാൻ, ഉപയോഗിക്കുവാൻ, അത് വരും തലമുറയ്ക്ക് ഏറ്റവും ഗുണകരമായി തീരുവാൻ ഇടയാകട്ടെ എന്ന് ആശംസിച്ചുകൊണ്ട്, പ്രാർത്ഥിച്ചുകൊണ്ട് നീർത്തട പരിപാലനവും മഴവെള്ള ശേഖരണവും എന്ന ഈ ദേശീയ വെബിനാർ ദൈവനാമ മഹത്വത്തിനായിട്ട് ഞാൻ ഉദ്ഘാടനം ചെയ്യുന്നു. ദൈവം നമ്മളെല്ലാവരും ഒരുപോലെ അനുഗ്രഹിക്കുമാറാകട്ടെ.
Thank you, Srimani. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Over to our Chief Resource Person, Dr. S Shankar sir, who will be talking to us for 20 minutes or 20-25 minutes. He's, as I told you, he's an expert in the field. Therefore, we are actually anxiously hearing, waiting to hear words from him. Welcome, Shankar sir, for your presentation.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon,
I hope,
sir.
You can hear me.
Sure, sir.
I'm very happy to participate in this seminar. And in the beginning, I want to say that I want to just introduce the subject for a few minutes Then we will have a discussion, real responses from different people. Because if I take 25 minutes of your time, it will be, we don't get responses from 68 to 100, nearly 70, 80 people are attending this webinar. That's really great, I think so. The principal and Sibi has done a great job in spreading the message. We are living in land, and land is soil, water, and vegetation. If we need water, we need soil. If we need soil, we need vegetation. So all three are combined together. So we have to conserve the whole thing. So if you want to have rainwater harvesting, you need vegetation, you need soil, and you need the water from the atmosphere. Our problem, why we are really worried about water, is that the whole world drinking water or fresh water is only very little. It's only 2% of the whole water. The rest water is saline or it is polluted. So we have to really conserve water, use it and store it. And where do you store? That's the question. The problem of storing becomes important, especially in a state like Kerala, where the whole rain, 90% of the water availability through our monsoon comes in 12 hours. So the water we get in 12 hours, we have to conserve for 365 days annually. For that only, we have to conserve the water. So where do you conserve? That is the water problem. So people have been thinking about designing dams, reservoirs, things like that. But that's not a solution. It's only giving water to a few and not to all. So where do we store water? Soil is the biggest storehouse of water. So your rainwater harvesting starts with storing the water in the soil, whether it's a well, whether it's a pond, whether it's a river. It's really the soil which is conserving the water. So first of all, you need to start with soil conservation. Second of all, you need with water conservation. Third, you have to do the vegetation work. So all three put together, you come into a watershed. So really a watershed becomes soil conservation, water conservation, and vegetation conservation. Especially that's very important for Kerala, our country, Kerala, because 10% of the land is only flat. The rest 90% is slope. It is midland and highland. So whatever rain falls in the midland and highland flows very fast into the rivers, through the rivers, through the canals, it flows into the sea. It takes nearly 12 hours or 13 hours for a drop of water from Anamalai to reach the Arabian Sea. So you have to reduce the speed of the water. The water is running. What we have designed is dams which is stopping the water. That is ecologically not correct at all. Ecologically correct is the running water has to be made to walk. The walking water has to be made to sit. The sitting water has to be made to sleep. That's what Sibi and the team at Grama Vikas Yojana is starting with rainwater harvesting and conservation of water through watershed management by making the running water walk. That's the first thing. We have to really think about rainwater harvesting. First of all, it was the whole idea in South India, the campaign was given by Sri Padre, who is in Karnataka. He's a Kasargod man, but a Karnataka man. And he is the person who started the idea of rainwater harvesting. And all of us are his students, disciples. So where the soil is steep, where the landscape is not rugged, where the vegetation is bad, water management becomes very difficult. Just look at our Attapadi hills. In Silent Valley and Mukali, where 4,000 millimeters of rainfall falls, you go to the east, the rainfall comes down to 600, 700 millimeters. The main reason is that the land has become barren. So we have to really come back and make the land vegetation green. See, for example, you walk in the rain, you hold an umbrella. So you have to protect yourself with an umbrella. In the same way, our earth needs an umbrella, and that is the vegetation. Once the vegetation is there, the earth has an umbrella, and everything is conserved. The soil is conserved, and the soil is conserved, the water is conserved. So that is the way we can really go forward. So the whole idea of this seminar is to spread the idea of soil and water conservation, watershed management, and rainwater harvesting. Because rainwater harvesting is very important. For example, we have an experiment. I mean, we had an experience. Somewhere in Palakkad, there was a ITI. You know very well that industrial training institutes, summer holidays are not there. And during summer holidays, this ITA has no water in the well. So what we did that on the top of the, before the well, upstream, we dug few trenches, and ahoy, the well was always full because the water, the running water was made to stop, rather not stop, run to walk and sit and sleep. It could recharge the well which is available there. So such techniques which are available can be practiced by every farmer, every household, and you can really store water, conserve water, use water. And one of my professors, I mean, who taught me watershed management, Professor Madhavan Nambudiri, always used to say that the best way to do a magic in nature is really watershed management. Where water is not there, water is not available, people are in real trouble. You do the real actual watershed management and you really regenerate the water resources. We have a very good example from Rajasthan. We have the Waterman of India who really dug a lot of ponds in Rajasthan and could revive agriculture in many places. So in a slopy land like Kerala, the best way to conserve water is to really dig more ponds. Running water can be stored in ponds, and such ponds can be really used to develop watershed management and develop water. And once water is there, behind water, all the development will take place. There will be no problem at all. So with this introduction, I request the participants, the other resource persons to join and really add fuel to the fire which I have ignited. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your nice words of introduction. This is followed by a presentation by our chief resource person, Dr. Josie Raphael, who is now, working as the director of Mazhappulima based at Thrissur. Sir, I invite you for your valuable presentation.
Can you hear me now? Audible?
Okay, sir. Sure.
Let me try to present. Can you see that?
Yes, yes. Clear.
Okay. Now, so the topic is rainwater harvesting. This is a Kerala-centric presentation, rather. We got the wells here, open dug wells, plenty. Is there any disturbance in between? Hello, can you?
Now it's okay, sir. Now it's okay.
Okay, right. So, well, this is more focus is on Kerala. So some people are there from outside and from abroad and all. So I will give some context of the Kerala, the conditions. So when we talk about the context for well recharging, we get 3,000 millimeters of average annual rainfall. It's a good amount of rainfall we get. So this is a potential we can tap. Then when we talk about, 2.5 lakhs liters of rainwater in 1,000 square feet is quite good for us. Then again, to make it easier, per 1 cent of land, we can have 1.2 lakhs liters of rainwater normally in Kerala. It varies in some places, but still, it's on an average annual rainfall with that. We can have this much amount of rainfall within rainwater we can get within 1 cent of land. And apart from that, we will have about 200 homestead open their wells in a square kilometer. It's a statistics given from Center for Water Resources Development Management. So we got plenty of wells as well as we got plenty of rain, and we cannot go dry during summer season. We got the potential resources, the rain. However, we got the problem of the groundwater tables going down during summer, and the water quality issues are also noticed, especially in the coastal belt. The coastal belts have got the saline intrusion, saline ingress to wells, and in some places, in the other places, some iron content, things like that. To rectify, to reduce the problem of this water table depletion and water quality improvement, we can make use this well recharging, and the groundwater table will be improved. The water in the wells in the summer, and in the coastal belt, particularly the saline ingress, the saline taste of the water, even in the iron content of the water, get reduced. So this is a good technique for in Board of India. It's not a technique we made as a new one. It's a technique of Central Groundwater Board of India. So we can opt for, it's a scientifically proved one. Then when we come to the solution, when we talk about this solution, it's soil specific and slope specific and site specific. Dr. Shankar already mentioned about the soil part. That's very important. Of course, it will include the slope as well. And according to the sites, it varies. So according to these situations, so the solutions we imply in the midlands and highland may not be applicable to the coastal belt. So when we talk about the percolation pits, that can be dug in the midlands and the upperlands, whereas it cannot be dug in the coastal belt. So it is soil specific, and it varies to the slopes as well. In the higher lands, in the Kottayam and all, and the Western Ghats everywhere, the slopes are there plenty. So like that. So the techniques varies to the place. So this is about so when Dr. Shankar talked about the watershed approach. Now this is a picture about the homestead watersheds. So we got in Kerala, we're based in homesteads. So the homestead watersheds we have, and within in the boundaries we used to have the vegetative fencing and mud bridges kind of thing. So whatever the rainwater we get within our homestead, especially in the midlands, in some highlands as well, whatever the rainwater we get in our homestead, in our college campus, or whatever entity we have, or in the church or temple, whatever it is. So whatever the rainwater we get within the vicinity, in our homesteads, we just conserve the rainwater within our homestead with making use of local specific techniques. It could be a percolation pit, or it could be, we can make use, the popular one, the coconut based basin preparation. This is the best one. I would suggest that the easiest one, natural one. So we can have the coconut basin. Almost all houses in Kerala has got the coconuts. So whatever the rainwater we collect under the coconut tree, it will help the soil. It will help our wells. So the coconut nowadays, because of the price issues and all, and getting many people may not the labor charge because of that. Many people not doing this coconut basin operation. So during the rainy season, to collect this rain, we can have the coconut basins like this. So it will improve. It will help to improve the groundwater tables. So these are the what I said. Then when we come to the Kottayam side, it is plenty of Kallu Kayala we say in Malayalam. That's this kind of what I said. The bunds are there. So this definitely will help the water. It will help the soil as well as the water. Okay. So both water and soil are conserved in these Kallu Kayalas, this kind of bunds. Now when we come to this is a kind of well recharging, making use of percolation pits. So you see in the picture there is a well that's written in Malayalam. It's the slide of Dr. John Mathai of National Center for Earth Science Studies. He shared me this slide. So you see the well, and left to that part or right to that part, you'll see there are two percolation pits are there. So we can have a percolation pit not very close to this well, but bit away, or say you can say 5 to 6 meters away. Otherwise, what will happen then? Because of the pressure in the percolation pit, the water pressure, the well may affect it badly. So it cannot be. So some sort of a safe distance should be there. So we can have the percolation pits around the wells in order to supply enough groundwater for that particular aquifer. So this is a kind of aquifer recharging as well for particular wells. So this way in the homesteads, in our families, we have the houses or near the well. Whatever possible way of doing, it's all not necessary to have the pipes and gutters and that leads the rainwater to the well. So we can make use the site-specific techniques, whichever suitable to our homesteads. So we can have this kind of percolation pits around the wells. So this is that you see the picture, the cross section of the soil. You see the top soil, and then see the and you will see the aquifer. So from that aquifer, we pump up the water or take the water, draw water from the wells. So to replenish these aquifers, we can have the site-specific techniques, either in the coconut basin operations or the percolation pits, or even some kind of allow there is a saying in we used to say that in Karkadagam we need to Karkadagathil raksha cheyyanu parayum nammal adupole namukku mazhakalathu kinarne raksha cheyenda oru kalamana. So we can do this kind of replenishing methods during rainy season. So this is again, when we come to this, you'll see this picture. We cannot do this kind of percolation bits around the wells and in this kind of place like this. This is from Idukki side. If you do this kind of percolation bits in this kind of terrains, what will happen that then you see this kind of landslides may help to have the landslides. So we need to think about whether it will affect, this kind of activities will affect the wells or not. There are complaints we heard from in some Idukki side that MGNRG's program helped some kind of landslipping kind of thing. So we have to take care of all those things. You will see the picture of what I say, the MGNRG's people in Thrissur area. We have adopted this kind of activity through MGNRG's. We have dug the percolation pits around the wells, but these places are not slopey; they are plains rather. So it will not affect badly, but it will help the wells. So according to the sites, we need to change slopes. We need to change the technique. So you will see the size of the pits. It depends place to place. Now you see the picture of a percolation pit close to a house. This is from Edapadi block of Kottayam district. We implemented this scheme, the Manappulima scheme. We implemented during 2010. And after you see the picture, we harvest the roof rainwater that leads to the percolation pit, and you'll see the well close by. So this helped the families over there. We had some doubt whether it will work successfully in Kottayam side or not in the beginning. This Marappalima started in the year 2008. But in the 2010, we realized that this helps the families, this enriches the aquifers, and so the people are so happy. Nowadays, plenty of the panchayats take this well recharging scheme by their own. So many panchayats. Now we have no statistics for that. So then nowadays, the people used to ask whether the borewells can be recharged or not. That is also possible. The borewells also possible, since we got the roofs close by. We can filter the roof rainwater. Then it can go to we make kind of a chamber, and where the tube well is located. There are plenty of methods are there. So we can. This is Kerala site specific. In other states, there are other methods of tube well recharging. But in Kerala, this is workable. We have run plenty of cases. Now, this is a picture about roof rainwater harvesting that goes to the filter, and from the filter, this goes to the well. So this method is being adopted in Henry Baker College. So this is commonly seen adopted method, but this is always not necessary in everywhere. Wherever it is highly required, wherever there is the filter chambers are required, this can be made use. So if we so again, of course, the model we put up in the Henry Baker College is a demonstration model to see the students and the academic community. That way, anyway, this is a method even the government of Kerala suggesting while we the building rules are there favorable for this kind of method. So this is that method. The filter will have you will see the baby metal or the gravels and the charcoal in between. Again, for one layer of baby metal, and so the half portion of the filter chamber only can be filled, and the rest has to be kept vacuum to rest the rainwater. So the filtered rainwater can be directed to the well. So this is that method. Of course, it requires maintenance, annual maintenance, and such kind of things are there. So this can be made use. Particularly, this is useful for the this place is like the coastal belts. So in the coastal belts, we cannot do any percolation tricks around the wells or such kind of activities. So in the coastal belt, this would be the best strategy. So where this is required. In other places, perhaps in the land, the midlands and the higher land, this may not be required. But still, people used to install this kind of well recharge methods. So you'll see this picture, there is no filter. When Marappalima was started in 2008, we used to implement as the rainwater harvesting for well recharging without the filters. Instead of the filter, we used a kind of a coupling kind of thing, that's a cap. So the cap can be removed. So whenever there is no rain and there is dirt in the roof, we can keep this valve off position, so that and for the first rain comes, then the dirt will come, and the dirt will be flushed off this first flush valve. So this first flush valve is user friendly. Either you can close it or open it accordingly, depends upon your. You can easily monitor the whole thing. It is less costly. Just pipe and the kind of a first flush valve. This method also we can make use. It depends upon the how we accept this subject, rainwater harvesting and harvesting to the well. Now this is another method. This the check dam kind of thing. We can have, this is the easiest method, the best method. Best method. Okay. Now we can have this kind of small check dams will help. Now coming to the roof rainwater harvesting rules, recently published by the rules came from the government of Kerala, local self-government, that says that we need to have workable rainwater storage arrangement shall be provided as an integral part of all new building construction through the collection of rooftop rainwater for all occupancies except hazardous occupancy buildings and huts. So all houses are required to have the rainwater store. New buildings are required to get the permission from the panchayat or the municipality. They need to have a rainwater storage arrangement. But 1 week back, on the cabinet decided, the government of Kerala cabinet decided to reduce that, to ease that the rule that the people who have building the houses with less than 5 cents and those who have less than 300 square feet of the land, the building, they need not have this kind of storage structure. But this has not come as in the government order. We haven't got the copy of that. So it has not come in as an order. So we are waiting for that. And there are a lot of people used to ask us, well, it has become cumbersome for some people because all they need. I'll come to that point a little later. Along with that, all the new buildings need to have the groundwater recharging arrangements. So they can have the roof gutter, downpipes, filter units, or if they got the recharge well or recharge pond, they can have a percolation pit. If an open well or pond within the plot can be used as a recharge component. So if the people have got their wells, they can recharge their wells, or it can be going to if they don't have the wells, it can go to the ground percolation pit. So there is one important thing is that the filter unit shall be mandatory only in situations where the water is recharged directly to the groundwater through open wells or pond or in the like. So that filter is not that mandated everywhere. There are exceptions. So when if it is going to the well, of course, the government rules suggest that, requires that they need to have the filter with it. But apart from that, these are the structural arrangements rather. Now, when we come to the issues in that, the roof rainwater harvesting rules are often ignored. See, these new rules, 2004 onwards, are implemented in Kerala. Particularly in 2004, it was for the municipal areas. For 100 square meter buildings, they need to have the roof harvesting structures. But later on, it increased to 150. Now, for the past 15 years, these roof rainwater harvesting rules are there for new buildings. But they are largely ignored by the governments, so the officialdom. So because the people have got the real problems with that. In some cases, the rules are found not really required. For example, when the people who have enough water in the wells and they don't require this kind of what I said, this tank storage structures. So they also are compelled to have this kind of tank. So in that case, the people find the financial difficulties when they finish that house construction. At the time of that final stages, they will have financial difficulties. And now the panchayat or the municipality require you need to have the rainwater harvesting tank. So many people used to call me. See, when this government order get deleted, or they want to get escape of that. So that part is there. So I think that is a very important thing. Now, environmental implication also are there. To construct the rainwater harvesting tank, it requires sand. It has to take either from the river sand or from the quarrying, the mining. So in both ways, it's not that very, I would say, if the other options are available, why should we go for the tank? So we need to have, of course, then even for the well recharging in the filter chamber, you will see the gravels. Again, that make use of, it has got some environmental implications. So therefore, the roof rainwater harvesting rules need further discussion and modification for the site-specific requirement. That's all for the time being. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your wonderful presentation. Now, both the resource persons have presented their views. They have made a very good presentation from the part of both the. And now we have Sri CB, who is the captain of Gramavika Society. Based on his rich experience in the field, we can hear from him. Sri CB, thank you for coming out here. Please make your presentation.
Thank you, sir. respected moderator, Dr. Grish Kumar GS, Principal, and the Greater College, Nirvamatam, His Excellency, Honorable Bishop, Right Reverend P.S. Daniel, East Kerala Diocese, our key resource person, and my Guru, respected Dr. S Shankar, Dr. Josie Rafe, Honorable Director, Madakulima, the Master and Architect of Open Well Recharging in Kerala, respected participants of this webinar at national and international level. Thank you so much for this great opportunity to associate with this national webinar on rainwater harvesting and watershed management. I do appreciate all those who participate, scientists, professors, researchers, conservationists, students, and field-level activists. I believe this webinar will be a turning point in our water, soil, and biodiversity conservation concept. We have to improve, strengthen our efforts through participatory approaches and methodologies to achieve this goal. We can be the water makers of the world. Harvest rainwater for a sunny day. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, CCB, for your words. Now the topic is open for discussion. I request respected participants to interact with the resource persons. This is really a very wonderful opportunity for interacting with the two important, eminent resource persons who have contributed much in the field. Therefore, you can ask any doubts. You can interact. You can directly ask, or you can post your questions in the chat box, or otherwise you can directly ask questions to them. I request some of the participants to come forward with their questions. Any questions? Nobody has entered any question in the chat box. If anybody has any doubts, you can directly ask.
Sorry, is it suitable for doing this water recharge in slopey areas or the areas where there is a chance of landslides? Any such problems in these areas? Can you hear me, sir?
Yes. You talked about, yeah. May I respond, Dr. Shankar? May I respond, or you may respond? You're the senior person, eh?
Okay, sir, you can give the answer because there's a question from the Justin Jose.
Yeah, it seems what I heard that whether this well recharging or the percolation bits will make any the bad impact on whether it will facilitate the landslides or not. Normally it is not so, but still we need to take care that okay, if the particular place is prone for landslides, or it has been recorded as one of the landslide prone places from Kerala State Disaster Management, KSDMA, Kerala State Disaster Management Authority, or National Center for Studies. They have recorded the places in all districts which are prone to the landslide. So we need to take care of that, the possibilities. Normally, it may not, it will have no problem, but still, where there are the fragile places, there are chances. I've shown the picture in my presentation. I think about 30 degrees of the land, the levels are so it is not suggested to have such kind of percolation pits for well recharging. So normally, the normal lands, it is advisable to have the percolation pits around the wells. It is highly slopy. I would not suggest.
Okay, sir. That was a question from Professor Justin Joss of Department of Commerce in this college. I hope Professor Justin is satisfied with the answer, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, I'm satisfied.
Okay, sir. I think, this particular topic is having utmost importance. This has to be properly addressed and redressed by us. But unfortunately, state government or central government has not taken this particular issue very seriously. Are they providing any incentive or subsidy or any financial assistance for conserving water, for implementing the rainwater harvesting or water recharge schemes to be implemented in our society? I think government has not ventured into that particular area, right? Even now.
Now, the government has started giving the subsidies, particularly to the local governments, the panchayat and the municipalities. But 8,000 rupees for the flat roof and 8,600 rupees for the inclined roof. So normally it is for the below poverty sections is given through the Grama Panchayat. But in some cases, recently it is made it so. But the groundwater doesn't have any the economic equilibrium issues are there. Poverty, ഭൂമിക്കടിയിലുള്ള വെള്ളത്തിന് ദാരിദ്ര്യങ്ങളില്ല. അതുകൊണ്ട് so who have the much land and much space for the roof, they should be given the subsidy, I would suggest. Now it's vice versa. So the people have small roof and they have got small rainwater to harvest to the well, only get the subsidy. So that's a controversy rather. So the government has to take it that way. They need to promote the people, the better off people. In our experience in Malapalima, we see that the people who are above poverty line, we see that they conserve, they get the subsidy, of course. They were getting the subsidy. They maintain the scheme, the installations of the pipes and gutters, and it improves their groundwater table. Also, it helps the neighbors who are poor to improve the groundwater table. So it doesn't have the economic. Now the government has to change their decision. So it should be given to across whatever the economic situation it is.
Okay. So it has to be the responsibility of every person, to conserve water under the natural resources, It has to be considered a legitimate responsibility of each and every citizen to conserve water and other resources. That is made of a culture, that is necessary.
Yeah.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much. Any other question? Any question from any participants? Actually, this is really a honey tasting experience for me because we got two important eminents in the field who have contributed much in the field of watershed management. Now, this is a very rare opportunity, precious opportunity for you to get your doubts cleared at this platform. I request the participants to. I think there are some researchers and also postgraduate students, especially outside Kerala, who are doing work in the field. You may please respond. Okay, I think there are no much questions. So CB, there are no much questions, I think, Okay. So you have anything to comment?
No, sir.
No, sir. Okay, then
Let me say, I'm so thankful for the Herbert College to giving me this opportunity to present to your students and the teachers. Okay, when this COVID situation is over, let us see if possible we can meet each other and see what we can do in the colleges nearby. Thank you very
Sir,
much.
yeah, sir, it was really a honey tasting experience to all of us because we have got, fortunately, we got two important eminents who have made significant strides in the field of watershed management. Jose Raphael and also our Shankar sir. Both are adepts or experts or luminaries who have contributed much in the field. Therefore, we are really happy to have both of you at this particular platform to make wonderful presentations, exclusively on this particular topic for the wider benefit of our participants. Definitely, we are extremely grateful to you people, Jose Raphael and also Shankar sir, for coming over here. You have consented at the first time when we discussed about organizing such a program. First time you consented to come forward, and also you honored your promise by being with us right time itself. Henry Becker College and Grammar Society is extremely grateful to you for coming over here and to make your wonderful presentations. And now, since all the business is over to Professor Justin Jose for formal vote of thanks.
Sir, excuse me, there is one more question in the comment box.
Okay, I will read out. I will read out the question.
Yeah.
Sir, I want to know about the possibility or applicability of rainwater harvesting from the roof of houses and market it as a drinking water in bottles. It's a commercial question, yeah.
That's very good question. In fact, recently when Santosh George Pulangara was raising this issue, why should not we harvest the rainwater? Why should not we sell it in bottles? So we should be smart enough to. There are plenty of recent smart business kind of community kind of thing, but none of them are looking in this angle. Why should not be? That's a good. Is it a Jarin asking that question? The Jarin, no? Am I right? Well,
George.
Congratulations. That's a good question. We should think in that economic lines. We can harvest the rainwater. Even sometimes somebody suggested we can think about mix up the Kudumba stream and see that whether the rainwater, the pH quality stabilize the pH levels, and why should not we put it in the bottle and export it? So we can make a lot of money as well for the country and for the people. But the potentials are there, plenty of potentials are there. For rainwater is plenty we getting, but we are not trying to capitalizing that one. So we need to think about the youngsters. I don't know, I have not seen Jarin, but I would suggest Jarin, please come forward. Let us start some business. We need to think about in those lines. But harvesting some water from roof drain and it doesn't make any big we are not exploiting the whole thing that we may go to the ground and all. But still we can think about the income. It will make export and the export money income for the nation as well. Okay, thank you.
Okay, Jarin, it's a very, very, very significant question and wonderful answer. Definitely, Jarin has all the possibility of becoming an entrepreneur, in this particular field. You have wonderful talent. Yes.
I have a comment to make.
Okay, Shankar sir, please.
Can I make a comment on export of water?
Shankar sir, sure.
Because I always thought that water should be used where it falls.
Okay.
Because once you export water, you are depleting that area of water. The whole idea of exporting water and making a lot of money. I know very well that today more drinking water are there than petrol, than diesel or crude oil. That is being made money, So water is an essential thing for life, for nature. It should not be used as a commodity to make money, I'm very sorry. Especially in a land like Kerala, where there is a deficit of drinking water, export ideas should not be thought of. I hope you.
Yes, Dr. Shankar. We appreciate it.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. This is another version of the answer to the question from Shankar. Shankar, sir. Okay. So
Let us conduct. Please, sir, let me conclude. Hello. It's time to take. Now it's time to conclude our session. It's a great pleasure for us for organizing such a program in this time of natural calamities. So my duty is to deliver vote of thanks to our guests and our manager. I would like to thank our manager, Right Reverend V.S. Francis Tirumeni, for coming over this platform and for inaugurating this session. It's a fruitful session. I thanking you, Reverend V.S. Francis Tirumeni, on behalf of Henry Becker College and all the participants here in this seminar. Next, for our valuable guest, we have three resource persons here. We have Dr. S Shankar, the former HOD Soil Science KFRI. Such a busy person, he came over here in this Google Meet for addressing us and for giving the queries, answers for our queries. So thank you, sir, for sharing your precious time in our platform. Secondly, I would like to thank Dr. Josie Raphael for taking an interesting session by illustrating it with the PowerPoint presentations. We all know what is the time spent for preparing such great slides, and we are seeing a lot of natural calamities around us, and we are facing water scarcity over the world. So it's a topic of great importance in such times. So I would like to thank Dr. Josie Raphael on the behalf of the Henry Becker College, all the staff and students. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thirdly, I would like to thank a person behind this webinar, that is Sri Sibi Puridam. With his assistance, we have installed a rainwater harvesting system in our college. It is functioning very well. It will solve our water scarcity in our college. So I would like to thank Sri Sibi Puridam, the man behind this webinar, and take all the pain for inviting the guests, the resource persons, our manager. All the things, A to Z things are done by Dr. Sri C.B. Puridam. I would like to thank C.B. Puridam on behalf of Entry College and all other staff and the students and all other participants here in this webinar. And last but not the least, the energy behind this webinar, our principal, Dr. Girish Kumar sir. Girish Kumar sir has moderated this webinar all through without any, we haven't faced any technical issues till now. We thank, officially, we thank Dr. Girish Kumar sir for taking this opportunity for arranging such a webinar. Thank you, sir. And I would like to thank all other participants for joining us and other students, teachers, well-wishers, and all other. There are so many environmentalists. I would like to thank all of the participants here and persons from various areas have joined this webinar. I'd like to thank all of us for joining us. Thank you.